Do your grandkids like to build forts? Maybe when they come to your house or maybe when you go to their house? I know that my grandkids do. So today we're going to look at National Geographic's epic forts. This bad boy right here. And we are going to see, is it worth it? I have seen this on Amazon and I had thought before, boy, I'd like to check it out. And I happened to find this box in like new condition at a Goodwill. And so I picked it up and bought it. So today we're going to take a look and see, is it worth it? Hello, friends, and welcome to the heart of Nanaland, where adventure is brewing, but so is the coffee. My name is Lynn, but my grands know me as Nana, and we are going to just dive right in and check out what's inside this epic forts by National Geographic. So let's go. Okay, so now let's take a look at what's inside National Geographic's epic forts. Is it really epic? Well, we're going to find out. So here you can see the box. That's giving you an idea of one of the things that you can build. This is the contents of the box. You've got these different connectors there. These clips are what hold on the sheet or blanket or whatever you're going to use after the fort is built. These little guys, which are actually pretty necessary for some of these connectors so that these little PVC pipes will fit inside. And let's go ahead and open it up. Now I apologize in advance when I dump this out. It's going to be a little loud, so cover your ears if you need to. Oop. Got some stragglers. So here's what's inside the box. You've got an instruction booklet, of course, very useful because it shows you how to use the different pieces and how they twist and gives you some ideas for what to build. Now I'm going to build this simple one here so you can get an idea of the size of what you have to work with, which of course is going to be important depending on the age and size of your grandkids. Then you've got these PVC looking little plastic tubes. They are like the smallest diameter PVC you can imagine. Much, much smaller than what you would get like at the hardware store if you were to get regular PVC. And then you've got these connectors here, which kind of serve different functions. These ones, you use this middle part with these. So these are pretty important because they fit in here, lock in place, and allow you then to put those tubes in there. And then you've got these clips that hold the blanket or sheet or whatever it is that you're going to be putting around the fort structure. And you've got two sizes on these little tubes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together this one right here, so that you can get an idea of what it looks like watching me put it together, kind of like what the size is like, really, to get a gauge on the size of fort that this little kit will make. So let's go ahead and get that going. Okay, the final piece is to put a blanket on it. So that's what we're going to do. I have this lightweight pink blanket. So this will be for one of my granddaughters, this fort, we'll say. Since we got a pink blanket, we'll throw that over the top like so. And then using these clips, clip it on there. And there you have it, a National Geographic epic fort. Now, do I think it's epic? No, I do not. It's cute, and I love these little angle connectors because they allow you to do 45-degree angles, which would be harder to do with PVC from like the hardware store where they're generally 90-degree angle connectors. But this is small. I wish I could give you something. I can't, like I would sit in it to show you relative to the size of an adult, but I couldn't even come close. Look, there's my foot. So you can kind of see. I'm going to grab a stuffed animal and put it in there. Maybe that will give you a better idea. It just seems to me like it would be fine for an 18-month-old, maybe a baby just starting to walk, but I don't think my 3-year-old grandson would get in there and play. It's just too small. So epic it is not. But again, let me get something to put in there to give you a frame of reference. Okay, there's Minnie sitting out in front. Now, that's like a 10-inch stuffed animal. Here's another little squishmallow guy in there. See, here's 2 of them. Cute for them. But for a kid, I don't know. I just don't think you're going to get much use out of it for kids that are more than a year and a half old. That's just my opinion. But now you've seen it all put together. You've seen what's on the inside. I like the fact that it has the angled connectors because, like I said, it can allow you to make pitches and things like that. I just don't think you can go very much higher the way that it is. Maybe a little bit, but not with the pieces that are included in the kit. You can make it a little bit bigger. It's still going to be kind of small. So, epic? I don't think so. I'm going to grab some PVC pipe, and you can see what I've done with PVC pipe to make forts for the bigger kids, and that might be a better, cheaper way to go. Okay, I couldn't easily get out all my PVC piping, but here's just a little bit to show you, right? This is, I forget how big of pieces I cut this to, maybe 36 inches. And then I have different connectors like this, some that are a T, some that are like this. And I have made forts out of this with the grandkids, and it's so much better, especially for the bigger grandkids. I mean, this can go up to 8 years old, 10 years old, depending on what size you want to cut it. You can cut the PVC any size that's fits your grandkids, and it doesn't leave, it's not as small a footprint as the other one, of course, but it still breaks down pretty easily like this. And just keep it somewhere, maybe in the garage. And then when the kids come over, you can get a bigger blanket and make a much better fort. So I've used this to make forts, and I've used the other one. I personally prefer this, but I actually had this around for another project that I used. I made a little home audio recording studio out of the PVC for myself. So it was kind of like a grown-up fort, and brought it out just to use with the grandkids. And this was much more successful. So for me personally, the epic forts, not quite so epic, but I'll let you decide what's best for you and your grandkids. Okay, so after I recorded the other part about building that small fort that I told you I thought was just way too small for most grandchildren, except for even the littlest ones, and after I recorded the closing to the video, I thought, well, maybe I'm not giving epic forts enough of a chance because I did have a lot of leftover pieces. I thought, well, there's a lot of leftover pieces. Maybe there's a way to configure what's in the kit to make it bigger so that, say, my 9-year-old granddaughter could get inside. So I went back to the drawing board and I worked with the pieces that they had, thinking that if I could get in there, she would be able to get in there, even if it was snug for me. But honestly, while there's enough of the longer pieces, I mean, you can see my attempt here, and there's enough of the longer pieces, there are not enough of the connectors to make a structure that would be big enough for, say, a 9-year-old to get inside. So I did want to go back and give it another try. I do want to be honest and straightforward with you so you can see what you have to work with. There probably are ways to configure something a little bit bigger with the connectors and the poles because you do have extra of both. But I was not able to find a way to configure a fort big enough for, say, an 8 or 9-year-old, unless they were like really small. Anyway, I just wanted to add that just so you would have a better context since there were some extra pieces. I just think it's missing some of the connectors. So in order to make, something a little bit more substantial. Okay, there you go. Now we'll go on to the conclusion. Well, I hope that deep dive into the National Geographic's epic forts was useful to you. Now the question is it worth it? To be honest, for me, no. It wouldn't be worth it if I had to pay the full price of 30 something dollars on Amazon. But maybe it would be worth it for you. It does come in a fairly small box. It doesn't take up a lot of room. And if you have really little ones, maybe 2 years and under, it might be a great use for them because basically once you build it out, it's pretty small. But honestly, if you have a little bit more room, PVC pipe with some connectors and elbows can do a much better job, much sturdier, can hold bigger kids in it, and probably for half the price. Easy to put together. So I've done it both ways, and I shared with you both ways. Just to give you an idea, I didn't build out the whole big fort with PVC pipe, but you get the idea. So I hope that this was useful for you in making a decision. I will have a link to this particular kit in my description for the video. So if you do think it's something that might work for you, you'll be able to link right over to Amazon and get it. Or if you have, keeping your eyes open, you see one at a secondhand store or thrift store, Goodwill, and you see it for a really good price, well then maybe it might be worth picking up for you. Thank you for joining me here in the heart of Nanaland. I appreciate you taking the time to be with me on this journey, this adventure that we call grandparenting. And if you liked the video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. It will help other people find it, or leave me a comment. Do you build forts with your grandkids? And if so, maybe you have some tricks you can share with the rest of us. Remember, we're all on this grandparenting journey together. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again very soon in the heart of Nanaland.